Good morning. It is 9 a.m., 19 degrees on this Friday, February 13th. Thanks for tuning into Daybreak, where we're streaming for another half hour here on WGRZ Plus. And we're beginning with breaking news right now. We could soon learn more about that tragic tour bus crash that happened over this summer. If you'll remember, in August, the bus was returning to New York City from Niagara Falls when it crashed and rolled over on the eastbound side of the 90 in Pembroke. 54 people were on board. 5 passengers did not survive. Dozens of others were hurt. We were told by a source that the driver may have been distracted by a water bottle under his feet. And when we asked state police, they did not rule that out. They've never come out and exactly said what was the cause of that crash. Earlier this morning, state police did send out a press release saying that they'll provide an update to that bus crash in Batavia. It's set to happen at 3:30 this afternoon. And the Genesee County District Attorney will be attending that news conference. We will live stream it right here on WGRZ Plus and have full reports beginning today, first at 4 on Channel 2. And we are expecting more developments in the federal death penalty case involving the Tops mass shooter. Peyton Gendron is due in court today. And while it's unclear exactly what will be happening today, we do know that he's due soon for a Roper hearing. That type of hearing is named after a landmark Supreme Court ruling in 2005 when the court determined that it was unconstitutional to impose capital punishment for crimes committed while under the age of 18. At the time of the Tops mass shooting, Gendron was 18. And 2 on Your Side spoke with former District Attorney John Flynn about what to expect from Gendron's lawyers today and how it all ties into a decision made by the Supreme Court more than 20 years ago.
They're going to go through a hearing. They're going to call witnesses. They're going to have medical experts take the witness stand and testify that even though Gendron was 18 years old, his brain is not fully developed yet, and therefore should be spared the death penalty. They're going to go through all this testimony. The judge is going to basically deny it because he can't override the Supreme Court. And then if he is sentenced to death this summer after trial, then they will appeal the judge's determination.
And Flynn went on to mention that in recent years, the federal government has made several adjustments to its sentencing guidelines for other crimes based on a person's age. A new report from the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, shows that students of color and students with disabilities at Buffalo Public Schools have been disciplined at much higher rates than their peers. So what happens now? Well, the district has to hire an independent monitor and begin revamping its code of conduct to reflect changes ordered by the Attorney General. According to the settlement, the district will also limit and reduce suspensions of students in grades 3 and below. And parent organizations and community advocates say this was a 15-year fight to get Buffalo schools to review and change their code of conduct to address disproportionate suspensions throughout the Buffalo schools.
This is a proud moment for us today to share in this good news about the accountability for answering the cause of the disproportionality of suspensions. We know that it is a moment that will also resource the teachers with what they need to be successful within the classrooms, having a process that not only supports them in their academic success for our students, but also supports them in the classrooms for the social emotional assistance that they need for our young people and our families.
And some of the data shared in the investigation showed that Black students in secondary schools were suspended at a rate 6 times higher than white students. For Latino students, that rate was 4 times higher. The Warsaw Central School District is canceling the remainder of its varsity and JV basketball seasons because of an investigation into the alleged actions of some team members. The district says it is investigating with local law enforcement and the district attorney's office a situation involving a number of students in the middle high school. The district first announced a week ago that it received reports of an ongoing matter involving student misconduct and brought in outside counsel to investigate. The district sharing on social media that it received new information and school officials are working to take the appropriate next steps. And in that post, the district says in part, quote, "This decision was not made lightly, but reflects our commitment to addressing the situation thoroughly and maintaining the integrity of our programs. The safety and well-being of our students remain our highest priority. We are committed to maintaining a safe and supportive learning environment for all students and staff, end quote. If you have to go to the DMV today, you'll want to go early. Erie and Niagara County locations will be shutting down at noon today, and online services will stop at 2 p.m. That's because the state is launching a new technology system, and they're getting a head start on testing today before launching it after the long weekend. Well, right now, a live look over downtown Buffalo. Things are dry right now, but we're getting a bit of a break from the snow. But the next time it falls, will the city have enough plows to clear the roads? This week, Mayor Sean Ryan told state lawmakers in Albany just how serious the situation has become at the Broadway barns. He says the city doesn't have enough plows altogether, and of the ones they do have, only half of them are actually working. Here's part of his exchange with State Assembly member Pat Therick.
We need 40 snowplows. We started the season with 28, and right now we have 14 operating, and about 1/3 of our garbage trucks are in the mechanic shed from just the wear and tear of being out in this cold weather. Hydraulics freezes, systems break.
You said you need how many? 40?
We need 40 snowplows. I started
14?
with 28, and now I'm down to 14.
And we have reached out to the Ryan administration for more information. We also asked about any contingency plans if a major snowstorm hits, with the fleet operating at significantly reduced levels. And we have not heard back yet. Well, imagine getting a bill for $8,000 in damages to your car and you weren't even there for the accident. Well, that's the case for one Dunkirk resident. Take a look at this Ring camera footage showing the moments a large snowplow appears to sideswipe this resident's parked car. Rebecca Sepulveda is now having to foot the bill for her insurance deductible. 2 on your sides, Chelsea Swift explains why.
I wasn't even involved in the accident. It happened when I was in my house, and I just had never heard of that before.
Rebecca Sepulveda is talking about a New York State vehicle and traffic law that some may be unfamiliar with. She says on January 1st, a City of Dunkirk snowplow allegedly hit her car. She says in New York, government-operated snowplows usually have immunity from liability for property damage.
I obviously have to get my car fixed to go to work, so I'm going through my own insurance. I have to pay the deductible, and they said that premiums might go up depending on the damage.
The mayor of Dunkirk says the city has an outside insurance carrier that handles situations like this. She says Sepulveda may have to use her insurance.
The city has absolutely no say whether or not she's going to be reimbursed. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, I have hit a pothole that has done damage to my own vehicle, and I've had to put that through my insurance carrier. And I'm not saying it's right, but it is unfortunately one of the things that does happen.
Dovia says she hates to see a constituent in this situation.
As the mayor, I ideally would never want to see this happen to anybody, and I feel terrible that it has happened, but it really is out of my hands at this point.
On your side, Chelsea Swift, Channel 2 News.
I just find all of that mind-boggling, and I can't believe that I didn't even know it, because this is a state law. This is not a Dunkirk thing.
Oh.
That if a snowplow is in the act of plowing and hits your car or your mailbox or any of your other property, they have immunity because they're not doing anything wrong. Now, unless the plow driver is actually at doing something where he's disregarding and he's on his cell phone, or he's doing something wrong,
right,
then they could be held responsible. But she didn't want to go through her insurance, which makes sense because.
Oh, now hold on. Was she parked where she's supposed to park?
Totally parked legally.
Sometimes you're in the way.
Nope, she was parked legally. She was parked on the street during dayside parking when she was allowed to be there. She called the police. She has a police report. The driver stopped and said, "Totally my fault. Sorry." Did everything that he needed to do.
But this is a state, so this has happened many times then if it's a statewide thing.
Yeah, and we're just, when the viewer actually reached out to me and I brought it up to our folks in the newsroom, I'm like, did you know about this?
Wow.
This immunity? And no one knew about it.
So she has a high deductible. It's $1,000.
Right. She didn't do anything wrong, and the city will not reimburse her for that $1,000 either. Now, her insurance company is going to go after the city and say, like, please reimburse her, but they don't really have to. And so she wanted to share her shared this story just to let other people know. Not that there's anything that she can do about it, but she originally just wanted the city to pay for the damages, get her car fixed, and not have to go through insurance at all, because all of you know that if you file a claim, your premium goes up.
Right.
And insurance rates are so expensive right now. That's why Governor Kathy Hochul is saying that she wants to do things to lower insurance premiums across the state, because New York State pays a lot more. Residents in New York or drivers in New York pay a lot more than other states. But if you have to renew your insurance and you haven't done it in a while, you'll be shocked about how high it is and how much insurance companies are dropping people.
Yeah, you got dropped.
I got dropped because I had a
and Melissa, you've never been dropped in your life. you got dropped.
In different ways. I had a fender bender and I had a windshield, a crack.
That's nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Got dropped.
I got dropped.
That's insane.
So anyway, this was just really shocking to me.
It's hard to believe. I mean, especially if she was parked in a spot that she was allowed to park. Now, granted, I mean, you got to, snowplow drivers have a lot to navigate. They have big machines. They got to get as close to the car without hitting it, get the snow out of the way. It's not an easy job.
No.
And I can understand how side mirrors can get clipped, or obviously mailboxes.
This was $8,000 and it was from back to front, totally sideswiped her entire car.
Wow.
Anyway, all right. So, but the plows won't have to be out anytime soon, hopefully, right?
Well, there's still cleanup to do, though.
I know.
There's a lot of snow still
And that story about the Buffalo situation,
14
that they
snowplows.
want 40,
and they have 14.
They have 28, and only 14 are working.
Which now, so I'm thinking, okay, let's hope we don't get some big citywide snow anytime soon, which we don't really see as we look at the forecast.
And we were also just talking about how parking lots still need to be dug out, and there's snow and slush everywhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
All right,
but
so
40s, which will be lovely.
Right, we do have snow tonight, but it will not be enough to plow. Wednesday, we might see a little wintry mix, but that shouldn't cause too many issues. I will say the weather pattern does look active as we head into the end of next week and beyond. So at least it won't be terribly cold, so we may get more rain versus snow, but we'll see. The next couple of days look like this. Partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow, Sunday as well. Temperatures in the mid-40s, it looks like, by Monday. And we've had plenty of snow to shovel and plow this season. We're at 80 inches of snow for the season. There we go, 80.8. The average for the date is around 70. So we're over 10 inches above where we should be, and notably higher amount than we were at this time last year, like 25 more inches of snow. All right, skies are beginning to clear out a little bit as you head up towards Niagara County. We should see some partial clearing today, but the next system we're watching, in fact, I'll zoom out a little bit here so you can see it if you're interested. See that? There it is. This is the little snowmaker for tonight. This little disturbed area of weather coming down will bring some snow showers tonight, 8:30 until about midnight. Notice the partial clearing, then the clouds come back in. Here comes see that? There goes the snow. It's quickly out of here, and it should be south of the area. Tomorrow morning looks a few flurries tomorrow morning, and then we should see mostly cloudy skies on Saturday. Saturday night, mostly cloudy. And then on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, again, with temperatures beginning to climb very close to, if not into, the low 40s. So the long-range forecast, whoops, let's go back. There we go. Mostly cloudy on Monday, mid-40s, close to 40 on Tuesday. Wednesday, a wintry mix is what we're thinking. There's a chance it could be all rain, but there's enough cold air close by that for our northern zones, we're going to go with a chance for some sleet and rain, and maybe some snow shower, and then similar outlook, but warmer for the southern tier, warm enough mainly for rain, it looks like, as we head towards the middle part of next week. And then there's another system after that, which might bring more rain and snow, probably more rain, as we head towards next weekend. So.
All right.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Oh, the backside looks, sorry about the derriere.
We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Here's a look at the medal count. The United States continues to add to their overall medal count at the Winter Olympics. You can see right here they're in third place with 14. Oh, this changed this morning because they were tied with Norway. So now Norway's moved up. Oh, Okay. I need to find out why. But we talked with Anne-Marie Tiernan in Milan earlier this morning, and here's what she had to say.
Well, Melissa, that women's hockey game is really important because now we're to the point of the tournament where it's win or go home. So this is when it really, really, really matters. And if you want to watch that, it's at 3:10 Eastern time live. Of course, will be broadcast later in prime time. And then Ilya Malinin, that competition live is at 1 o'clock today. And Ilya is going for gold. He is favored for gold. He is leading the competition by 5 points. That's a lot. So there's all this, speculation about what is the routine going to look like tonight. Is he going to be adding more spectacular moves to increase his technical score? Does he need to do it? Does he just want to do it because he can? Does he want to be the first to land a quad axel in Olympic competition? He hasn't done it here in Milan yet. He did do it in competition last year. So all the real inside nitty gritty, people are looking at what's he going to do. But really, I think you got to think about it's going to be what the competitor does. So the Japanese skater, how that Japanese skater is doing, does he feel like it's necessary to up the ante, or does he feel like he's got enough? So, these are some of those game time decisions, but we're going to be watching him out there. The quad god, certainly favored for gold, and just a delight to watch. It's the technical component of the score that is most important, but really to get from good to great, I talked to Brian Boitano, and he said it's that combination. It's the artistry, it's the flow, it's the creativeness, it's the energy, all wrapped up with that technical score that gets you to the top place on the podium.
Yeah, and you can also see just how much fun he's having out there and his love of this sport. Speaking of love, as we're approaching Valentine's Day, tell us about alpine skier Breezy Johnson and her moment after her race.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. So Breezy Johnson, she came and she got the gold in the downhill, and then she was in the Super G and she crashed. So she gets to the bottom of the hill, and there is Connor Watkins, who is her boyfriend that she met on Bumble 2 years ago, okay? And he's waiting with a ring, and he pops the question. She says yes, and the box has a quote from a Taylor Swift song on it, and it says, "Who are we to fight the alchemy?" What is alchemy? Well, it is that romantic connection that is so intense that it is impossible to deny. So Taylor Swift then sees that he popped the question, that was on the box, and she tweets back to them another quote from one of her songs and says, "Congratulations." That just shows the spotlight, how bright it is on these athletes and what's going on here in Italy. And Breezy Johnson responded, she said, "I don't know what's better, Olympic gold or this comment." She tweets back to Taylor Swift, and then she says, "How about sourdough for an engagement gift?" And then she offered to teach Taylor Swift how to ski. So, a pretty good run for Breezy. She leaves here with the gold. She's got the bling, and she's got a connection now with Taylor Swift, and she's a Swiftie. So I think she's 3 for 3 for sure.
Yeah, and the sourdough starter from Taylor Swift. I love that story so much.
Right.
It's just one of the fun things coming out of the Olympics that has just got everybody talking.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie Tiernan, thank you so much for describing that for all of our viewers and sharing those moments with us. We appreciate it. So a little bit of love, and then also that Denmark speed skater who's talking about cheating on his girlfriend.
The oddest time to bring it up.
On a world stage.
On a world
No,
stage.
I don't think it's odd. I think that he's trying to win her back, and he's like using this world stage. But I was saying, I just am dying to be in the group chat with this cheated on girlfriend and all of her friends. About,
and we want to know
do?
if she's like, what do you do?
Right, or do you take him back?
Does she feel like forced to come back? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so,
weird.
Love and heartbreak in the Olympics.
So she got the proposal after falling.
Yeah. But didn't she win the gold?
Yeah, she won earlier in the
okay.
giant slalom.
Yeah, that's a great story. So today, by the way, we are definitely going to be watching women's hockey. This is, as Anne-Marie was saying, it is win or go home. And so U.S. will be playing host Italy at 3 p.m. our time today. You can watch it on Peacock and USA. They might be re-airing some of it during primetime coverage tonight. But Haley Scamura from Gettsville and a Nichols grad, she's going to be playing, of course. She had a great first game where she scored a couple times. And so Team USA has been amazing. They crushed Team Canada when they played. So we'll be watching them very closely. Good luck to them. And then as for Team USA men's hockey, they take on Denmark tomorrow. So we'll be watching Tage Thompson once again. Tage scored 1 goal yesterday as they beat Latvia 5-1 yesterday. We were here at this time yesterday talking about, is it Latvia or Latvia? And a very kind viewer who is from Estonia, which is near Latvia, wrote me and said, it's pronounced Latvia.
Buffalo style.
Exactly. All right, we'll be right back with more Daybreak after this. Welcome back, everybody. Great to have March Madness back in town again. It's been a couple of years.
Was it 2015?
That would be 10 years ago.
Right.
That long ago?
Well, they were here then, I believe.
Okay.
And then,
one other
year.
I really should know this.
I know.
And I don't, but I should. But Visit Buffalo is really getting ready for it. They're combining with the Buffalo Sports Commission, and nearly 100 hospitality partners are coming together to make sure that the city is prepared for thousands of fans to come to KeyBank Center next month. The tournament here is March 19th and the 21st. So that's a Thursday and a Saturday. Get your brackets ready. Officials expect a major boost for hotels and restaurants, breweries and attractions around town, hoping for nice weather too. The NCAA tournament is projected to bring in nearly $8 million in economic impact. And local colleges serve as the hosts, a role that they take very seriously.
What I can say is what we value most is the partnerships. You know, there are a lot of Purple Eagle fans in Erie County. We spend a lot of time in Erie County, and those of us in Niagara County, we obviously have the falls and many other great destinations for people to come to. So we appreciate being a great partner with not only the Visit Buffalo, the tourism. KeyBank Center is a phenomenal partner in all of this as well, and their staff. Canisius University, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. So we really appreciate the opportunity. And Bill's right, our fans, they start asking a year in advance, you know, how they are able to get access to tickets. So it is a big bolster for Niagara basketball.
And leaders say hosting the games is only half the job. The bigger goal is making sure that visitors leave impressed and then want to come back and stay longer, especially during the summer. If you are planning on going, if you want to go, tickets are on sale right now. These aren't too bad. You can buy them in 2-game bundles, the 2 afternoon games or the 2 night games. They're like back-to-back each day. Or those are on Thursday the 19th. Then there are 2 games on Saturday in the round of 32. The catch is we don't even know which games are going to be here, which teams are going to be here. And that won't be decided until Selection Sunday, 4 days before the games happen. So anyway, what you're looking at right now is Thursday, March 19th. This, I believe, is the 1 p.m. game. So that's $87 in the 300s. But if you go to Saturday, those tickets are so much more expensive. But this is a good deal that you only have to buy the 2-game bundle, because originally when they went on sale, you had to buy all of the games.
Oh, okay.
And you had to buy 2 seats.
Oh,
and so that was really expensive. So now on the secondary market and on Ticketmaster, it's a little bit more reasonable, but you have no idea who you're getting.
I wish it could be August Madness, because it's a lot better to sell this place in August. March is tough.
March is the worst month.
March is tough. It's never like you've had a full melt yet.
Yeah, because even in April, you might get a little bit of good weather at the end of April, but March is just...
March is like, you have no chance. It's snert. You might get one warm day, but it's just a tough month.
Oh, do you remember that St. Patrick's Day in March 2017?
Yeah, and it was snowing and...
No, the good one.
That was 2012.
2012.
Yeah, that was when
That's
it was
what I
like
meant.
in the 70s.
Yes.
Low weight. That was a freak show.
I have pictures of us in the St. Patrick's Day parade walking in shorts and tank tops, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that was a freaky March.
Even last St. Patrick's Day, it was raining toward the end of the parade, but it was actually kind of warm. It was in the 60s.
I remember.
You always remember your birthday.
I know, but...
Anyway.
But I did not remember because of what I just was busy. Busy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Valentine's Day. Are you ready?
That's
a no.
It's just not our thing.
Right.
We're big birthday people.
Yes.
We go all in on birthdays.
Can
So
you explain a
Valentine's-
little bit? I've heard about the birthdays for years now. I mean, you wake up, and the night before the kids' birthdays, the whole house is decorated.
Even for my wife Kimberly on her birthday and on mine, we just turned the house inside out into just this like celebrate everything.
That's fun.
And we get up at like 2 a.m. to prep it, and the recipient knows it's coming.
Yeah.
But then they walk down. It's
And if there are things on the calendar, Patrick clears his calendar for his kid's birthday and
big.
for Kimberly's birthday.
Yes.
And she does the same. When it's your birthday, she wants to make sure that things are here, ready to go. It's very cute. Anyway, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Try to shop local if you can. Flowers are a fortune. That's what that story was about, that roses are between like $80 and $120 for a dozen long stem roses.
Right.
So maybe try a different flower.
Oh, and don't do yellow tulips. That, like, yellow is not the color you want to, right? Isn't that like...
Well, white is purity. Yellow's friendship.
Yellow's friendship. We're only friends.
Okay. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.